Um, so we're gonna do something a little different this go around. Um, so I had this neat idea that after doing, well, actually, I wasn't gonna straight up just jump into the reading. I was gonna just have like talking, just gonna be talking. And honestly, whatever happens, chime in if you want. And I do want to say warning before everyone does come in. Maybe you'll see it or not. I don't know. But I am going to be doing a little bit of drinking and smoking. But I'm going to do it off camera, so I'll just, and then y'all won't see what I'm doing, but you'll know what I'm just telling you ahead of time in case stuff does get a little crazy up in here. Anyway, um, we actually did do like two songs this morning. Excuse me, specifically Melody and Rossini. And I don't know how I feel about them because they were kind of. Actually, I do like the songs, but it's just that the poems that was made by they had this idea to turn the poems into songs, and I was like, okay, that's pretty chill. I never heard that happen before. Poems turn into songs. That's something different. And it's actually really good. I feel like when it comes to music, it actually helps heal your inner self, whether it's your inner child or your inner teen, or as you present now, your adult. uh, Specifically for me. And that's why I listen to a multitude of songs from different genres or different countries. Maybe it's not all the time, but most of the time I will. And maybe honestly, I don't even know what they say most of the time, but like in my soul, I'm like, hey, I'm resonating with this and I fuck with it. So I'm just gonna, keep listening. And I'll look up the lyrics, and sometimes it catch me by surprise, like, damn, this is who we are. But look at how American music is. Like, I can't even be surprised. you know, it's like it's a whole thing. And speaking of, I actually did find. Hi, Diego. Yeah, I actually did find that card that I was talking about that had that was shit. Um, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. I found that card. And well, the way I see it is, I just pulled it out right now. So blood is thicker than water, and the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And this isn't to say that people who aren't part of your bloodline can't be the covenant too. There are some that are part of the covenant, but then there are some who just you don't resonate with at all, and you just can't force yourself to resonate with them. Um, and honestly, it happens. Like, you can't fault. I don't know the situation, but personally, for me, I don't fault them for not resonating with me. Like, if I was supposed to be understood by you, then I wouldn't have to constantly explain situations that I go through, or who I am as a person, or what I do, or be in this constant back and forth of battling, like, constantly at war with myself, trying to figure out, oh, am I good with this person, or, vice versa. Hi, Nathan. How you doing? Welcome in. Um, Honestly, I don't even want to call this a podcast because I'm just going to be talking, and um, and it's not like my typical readings either. I won't just be doing a reading. Like, I have a snack right there, but I'm actually going to be looking into like this book, The ABCs of Self Love, and give out some prompts. And I actually got that book from Five Below, so Go down to your local Five Below and get them. Not sponsored. And also some drawing. You know, I'm gonna do some writing, some drawing, a little bit of a lot of stuff. I feel. I think that's pretty much. Excuse me. I think that's pretty much the rundown of what I was going to do. And honestly, I feel like I should do the reading at the end. I still have a book that I have to return. I am so bad at that. Like, I'm horrendously bad at that. I don't see any of the books. I'll probably put them out somewhere. I'm not even gonna bug about it. So while we're here, let's go flip to a random page and see. Hi, Barbara. Chicken sandwich. Oh, shit. That's new. Okay. So the letter we're on is O. I mean, specifically, I'll show you the page that it actually turned to. It was this, and it showed a broken heart. I was not at Walmart today. But hi, Barbara. Thank you. So it says, it wasn't until I cracked that light. It wasn't until I cracked that the light within me poured out and healed me. Oh, open your heart. Think about the word heartbroken. You've heard it before. You've seen the emoji, a heart cracked in two. You felt, I cannot, dyslexia be damned. Jesus fuck. You felt what this world embodies: pain, brokenness, irreparable harm. Let me introduce you to a new word: heart opened. Now picture the same emoji, a cracked heart in two, but this time instead of that being a bad thing, imagine that it's a good thing. Like Leonard Cohen said, there is a crack in everything. That's where light comes from. Baby, I don't eat coleslaw. That shit is nasty. It's fucking disgusting. But how you doing, Barbara? How you doing? Uh, oh, Jesus. A heart open is a heart able to receive. A heart open is one that has experienced life and survived. To connect with another soul, you need an open heart. To welcome love, light, joy, you need an open heart. To experience the magic of vulnerability, you need an open heart. To create space for possibility, you need an open heart. I'm not the biggest fan of mayonnaise. So, if you're healing from a heartbreak, perhaps all you need is a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on what happened, focus on what is now possible. Your heart is now open. Embrace the cracks and let the light flood in. Make a list below of all things you wish to receive: love, health, travel, commitment, community, security, intimacy, success, clarity, healing, forgiveness, strength. Now draw these words and images to fill in the cracks of the heart on the next page. When you are feeling low, revisit your heart and focus on the possibility that abound for you and your open heart. I like that. I like that a lot. And while we do that, I will be writing, and you guys can follow along, but along. Um, but I'll be writing, and I'll be a little commentary with what I write too. So right now, I guess when it comes to love, the way I see it is with love, first and foremost, I want to fall more in love with myself. Or I guess I should say ourself, but yeah. With the self that is present in multiple moments. Even the ones who don't have the best emotional regulation, um, even to the parts that don't have the best self esteem. Like, I'd want them to know that they are very much loved and very much appreciated throughout all the times that I have been here. And I want them to know, you know that song, Grows Where Goes? That song right there is what I imagine whenever I have to have these deep conversations with myself. And even though I'm not always the most verbal with it, it's like I don't need to be verbal if I just have to talk to you. Um, I guess that's the heart to heart with myself. In terms of other people, I would think I would want my heart to open to them, but I feel like if my heart opens to them, then it has to be in the ways that you're respecting me as I am, regardless if you understand what I am or not. And I know most of the time that's not the case because of how I am. I know that's not the case most of the time because I've heard this before, but people only have one image of you. Um, I'm not voting for Trump. Call me dumb. I don't care. I'm not voting for him. Anyway, I feel. Where was I going with this? When it comes to. When it comes to how people look at you, sometimes they only have a specific version of you inside their head and they can't move past that version. Um, well, thank you, Carl. And when it comes to that, you can't really. Well, I can't say you can't be upset at them, but it's like you have to realize that their perceptions of you is not anything to. It doesn't have anything to do with you. That's just their entire perception. As long as you know who you are and what you have going for yourself, really, everything that somebody else says about you, what they got to say about you, however the hell they're going to talk about you, that's between them and their own spiritual lessons. It's like, I don't really listen to Chris Brown, but when I was younger, I did. But I remember specifically that song, how you waiting from the outside of the club? You can't even get in. Like, they can't even step to you. They can't get in your energy. No matter how much they want to try to, they can't. And you are so much more powerful than you think when it comes to building yourself up. And I believe that when it comes to that confidence, when it comes to that understanding of yourself, you have to open your heart to everything, including the bad parts, including the flaws. Like, you have to include them into that open heart. How can you heal them if you don't include them? And actually, I should be writing this shit down, but like, I'm, I'm gonna just say this is the journal, and I'll look back at it. But actually, I just wrote a note. But I'll be back over here. Um, so next is health. Health has always evaded me. Um, and I guess because I never really knew what it meant to be healthy, especially with how I grew up and how I kind of internalized um, a lot of energies that weren't even my own. And that's actually part of the reason why we even split in the first place. It has a lot to do with the trauma and what healthy communication, healthy friendships, healthy romance, healthy relationships all around, including the ones with self, when it comes to that communication and stuff like that, like all of that has been a struggle. And even now, it still is. So I realized I was with my friends the other night, um, and it felt weird hanging out with a group of all guys and not to be treated differently or seen as different, because it's like, I don't know, it kind of sent this joy in me that was like, damn, I see now, you know? And it's what's even weirder is like the way that they interacted with each other, and it was so filled with affection at that. I've never seen that around where I was, in a sense of being like actually being affectionate with each other and not being like, oh, that's so fucking gay, you know, you fag, you know that shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, no matter no matter how fucking how much I think I'm getting used to life, there is so much more that I am just not used to. And I think that that's kind of one of the reasons why I feel so out of place, especially given that like most people who see us, they always assume that we're a girl. But in that, it's like, you know that Poppy song, Am I a Girl? So she's talking about in all the ways that she is a girl, but all the ways that she isn't a girl. And it's like, I understand that so much. Like, yeah, I want to pose. I want to look pretty. Like, I got my fucking nails. These are fucking press ons, but, you know, I like to get my nails prettied up. I like to put on makeup. I like to wear dresses. At the same time, I'm on that other end of the spectrum where I want to put my pants on. I want to look masculine. I want to flatten my chest down and just look like, you know, like I'm stepping up to do some shit. You know what I mean? And anytime that I actually depicted what was masculinity and femininity, I always looked at the people that were around me. But it's actually unnerving to realize that when it comes to masculinity and femininity, it doesn't matter who you are, how you identify, what you look like. Those things are innately in everyone, regardless if you understand it or not. You have feminine and masculine energy. And when it comes to me, in my birth chart, most of that is really fucking balanced, which is crazy. Most of it is really like balanced out. And um, personally, we identify as agender, and it's because we're everything and nothing at the same time. I know with most agender people, they tend to be like not identifying with gender at all. I haven't met anybody who was like, you know, identified with everything and nothing at the same time. It's like, you know, gender hoarding is like, although it's weird to get people's perceptions of me as a woman, I don't necessarily shy away from it because, in the words of my father, although I still have my own discrepancies about it, he said that I was like a man and a woman. And I don't know if if he would have felt the same way if I was born with male parts and I identified as the way I was still. But trans women have it so much harder. I'm just telling you, like, it's so fucking insane how, in the back of my head, while I was growing up, I always knew that there was something different about how we were when it came to how we present ourselves. And when it comes to our own journey, we've transitioned from being, well, I don't even think that we actually identified as a girl, but it was just like the label that was forced on us before we even had a chance to develop. Which, okay, that's fair. You were born in that era and you didn't know anything about what it was to be trans or what even the LGBTQIA was, you know, and even now it's still evolving, it's still changing. Like, there's so many differences when it comes to yourself that you have to be, and this, unless you're like a completely sure about who you are, like, you're going to have some type of changes, whether it's who you are into sexually or romantically. What attracts you is going to vary. And I say this with myself because although we're so sure about our gender, our sexuality is kind of in this weird mix of where we're just like, oh, we're just a queer person. We like people. I don't know what to say. I like people. It doesn't matter who you are. I just like people. And I don't care what parts you have. Like, you're a cool person. We're vibing together. We're just gonna enjoy each other's company, and I'm fucking with that heavily. Um, Now, when it comes to those indications of like, if you want to start a family and stuff, like, there's so many ways you can start a family, and most people don't want to choose adoption because when it comes to kids who are adopted, I don't I don't have no experience with adoption, but this is my own inference, especially considering like when I do get older, I'm not sure if I'll adopt or not, but I still have it in that consideration where it's the same as if I'll have a kid of my own, which I don't even think will be possible, but that's just me personally. Um, but when it comes to adoption, I feel like people don't choose to adopt because of the long process it has, as well as when it comes to, you have to realize from this kid's point of view, they came from a home that literally was not good for them or actually fucking destroyed them and made them worse. And they're going to be processing so many different emotions as well as the environment and being around new people, new things, new everything. So this is like a whole different type of lesson that they are learning, but you are also learning, especially when it comes to treating a person gently. And I feel like we don't have enough gentleness in this world. Um, that's just me because at the end of the day, I am I am a soft person. I'm not even gonna cap it to nobody. Like, even though I've had my moments where I've had to harden myself or harden my heart, or I've had to present myself in a way that was not favorable. I'm a still hold it to me that, you know, through even through all of that, I was still soft. And I feel like when it comes to who you are, you always go back to that place that is still at your core. Um, and I feel like this heaviness in my soul. Maybe it's because I'm like, you know, but you know, but next, travel. Traveling. I think we'd want to. I think we'd want to travel the world. We definitely do. It's just like when it comes to travel, a lot of that shit is expensive, and not only is it like this weird type of wave of traveling right now. There's so many countries, excuse me, so many crises that are going on, especially with Palestine, Sudan, Congo, sorry, Democratic of Republic. Their name was previously Zaire. DRC, Democratic Democratic Republic Congo. There we go. It was gonna come there anyway, but including them, Tigray, like there's so many crises going on around that it's kind of hard to get into this energy of like, um, should I even travel at that point? But the thing is, when it comes to those type of crises, like there's not really much you can do aside from spreading awareness and donating what you can. Um, and even then, when it comes to like that shift, that political shift. Sorry, I thought I saw a bug, and it's I don't have my glasses. Like I genuinely cannot see. Um, but when it comes to that, I feel like it's hard to kind of let yourself be in that empathy. No, it's hard for you to get into that empathy position because you're so used to the life that you have right now. And I'm not gonna say that we don't all have our own struggles that we're going through, and they're the only ones who's like got the struggle. But it has nothing to do with comparing struggles. It has everything to do with just being someone who's for people, who's for humans, who's for freedom. Because genuinely cannot be free unless everybody is free. And even then, when it comes to all the terrorism that other countries are doing, especially the US of A, especially them, they're doing a lot of bullfuckery. Um, when it comes to these countries, and it's so crazy because we're all in debt, but you can't help homeless people, you can't stop throwing bombs on people, you can't stop supplying weapons and mass destruction. It's like they feed off of war, they feed off of hate, they feed off of people who are less than, who they deem less than at that. And this even has everything to do with what's going on in country, because the same thing that happens in foreign countries, in domestic areas, there are similarities that are just too intertwined to really look past and not realize that, oh, so this is what's going on, this is who we are. It doesn't have to be this is who we are. It has to be, sorry, it doesn't have to be this is who we are. It can be like, oh, so this is how we change, this is how we grow, this is how we move past this is how we heal this. mm, Ticks. Sorry, I had to come back. mm. But anyway, going on with commitment. Now, commitment, it doesn't have to be to another person. um, it can always be to what you want to do as a career or a job. Career is the same thing as, it's not the same as a job, but they go hand in hand. When it comes to my own commitment, I honestly want to commit to myself and my healing. And when it comes to changing my life around, I know I still kind of go into those modes where I'm just, kind of still dabbling in the areas that's like, what we consider as stimulants or depressants. Personally, for me, like, I've it could go either way. It all depends on what's going on in that mind state. Because even without all of these additions in my system, I still have to I still have to constantly have this talk with myself on how I'm going to stay committed to myself and our growth, especially when it comes to like last year. Oh man, not last year, but like maybe 2 years ago. Um, I think that's around the time where we kind of had this conclusion that, oh, so it is multiple in here. It ain't just singular. And I feel like that's the hardest thing to come to terms with, especially when it comes to how everyone has a variation of who they like, who they want to be around, whose company they enjoy, who they like, who they dislike, what they dislike, what they want to eat, what, if you want to eat at that, when, what you want to do that day, who gets the turn, who gets the fucking wheel. Like, it's so fucking chaotic that I want to have that commitment with myself and showing up and being like, hey, calm down. We're in our own safe space. And it's okay if we don't know what we're going to do right now. If we want to do something, then we'll do it. But, you have to make it into where it's like agreement with most parties, not just like everybody has to agree. Because, like, if everybody's, I don't want to say, because everybody has their own different flavor. It's like, if you don't like that flavor, you just don't like it, but most of us do, so we're gonna just give it a try. And if it's something that's detrimental to you, then we'll stop it straight up, not straight away, but we'll stop it and kind of work through kind of lessening what's going on. Because even then, sorry, hold on. I thought I heard my cat out there, but she's not. She's somewhere around the field, somewhere running around. Oh, Jesus. Um, where was I at? Commitment with oneself. I also want, the way that I know that if I'm committed to myself, I know that if I ever do get into a relationship again, I want to have that same commitment I have with myself with my partner. Especially seeing how I'm so fucking picky. Like, I'm very protective of who we are because I know that it's so easy to fall into the fucking trap that's like, it's so easy to fall into a trap of um, being with someone because you're lonely, or being with someone because they're the only one who's available. It's so easy to fall into those traps, but when you realize you can also have that partner within yourself, you no longer go seeking out who's outside of you, and you really, really, that attraction that you build with another person, that will just come naturally. Because when you fall in love with someone, you fall in love with yourself. And I'm a firm believer that if somebody is that I keep on thinking I'm hearing my cat. It's fucking weird. But when you fall in love with yourself, well, the person who you are with, they the person who you are with, as much as they fall in love with you, as much as you fall in love with them, both of you are supposed to have each other falling in love with yourselves. That's how deep the connection is supposed to run. At least in my perspective, that's how deep I want it to run. Throughout all of that, through all the good, in any situation, any area, that's how I see how connections are supposed to be. Community. One more time, I'll be back. Sorry, I'm back again. When it comes to community, to me, despite how much I don't agree with something or someone, I'm not going to stop that from respecting you as a person. Like, we're all human, we're all people. Um, Anything that you have within yourself that you need to work out, I'm going to leave that for you. Don't bring that same energy to me. You can talk to me, we'll have that kind of back and forth, but if it's something that you got going on that has entirely to do with you and you have the knowledge how to figure it out, don't come to me to complain about it. If you know it, do it. If you understand, do it. You know better, so do better. Same thing to myself. I know better, so I need to do better. But with that being said, I also feel like with community, even if they don't understand what you are, who you are, even if they didn't grow up around the same thing, you adapt and you change. That is the way of life. We adapt and we change. Um, it's not like saying, oh, but this is the way we knew. Like, that's the only way we knew. No. Anytime, how far I've adapted and changed in my life compared to how I was when I was younger, those things were needed. They were the catalyst for my growth. And the reason I keep on changing, I keep on growing is because I know deep down inside I will never stop. I will never stop learning lessons from life. Regardless if I go through them again, I will never stop learning whatever it is. And learning, that is the most powerful thing that you can have over yourself. Or in yourself, I should say. So next, we have security. Um, Security, it's like a safety blanket, I suppose. Um, Kind of having that safety blanket within yourself, but I also feel like security should come outside of you too, because tying in with, with community, that means that you don't have any worries about how something is going to happen, and it's like we catch you if you fall. Now, I've had those moments, especially when I took people for granted. Um, but at in my own head, I still feel like it wasn't that I was just taking them for granted. It was that I felt disrespect, and that made me want to be around them less and to want to run. Um, and I still have this issue where I have issues with confronting. I was talking to my little cousin last night, and they said they had a project that they had to do that was based on emotions. They showed me the drawing, and I asked them, okay, that's cool, I fuck with it. What's the emotions? They sent me an emoji, and I said, use words. And that's something that I still have to get used to when it comes to using words. Um, like, like when it comes to signing, I I don't know much, but I know a few signs here and there. Um, like I just know a few. It's nothing that comes to mind right now, but I do know a couple. But I'm not like fluent in it. It's like when you learn new languages, um, and I feel like learning sign is imperative for me because of my nonverbal times. And when I don't have modes of communication when it comes to talking, even, and this is also another issue I have when I get told to speak up, but it's like I'm partially mute. If you don't hear me talking loud, it's because I'm either in that stage where I'm just like a little bit mute, or I just, I can't speak. I literally just can't speak. And my voice, it's just naturally like that. Even with testosterone, my voice has always remained the same, of being like meek. And I know that's something that is like, oh, but you just gotta grow up. No, I don't have to. If that's my voice, it just is my voice. And if you don't like it, you just don't. I don't give a fuck. It's my voice, and I love it. Um, yeah, it's my voice. I love it. And it's the only voice I have. I have no choice. It's my voice, you know. Maybe I can change a pitch or two, but it's like, it's still my voice. I have to accept it for what it is. So going on. Intimacy. Oh, that's so fucking crazy. Because I did do a poem that was revolving around intimacy, or how I had this view on it. Um, for the life of me, can't read it. Fucking, this fucking thing sucks. Like, so, it's so fucking sucky. Anyway, when it comes to intimacy, being intimate doesn't always mean that it's like a sexual thing, you know. I feel like most of the time, like, yeah, you can say it is, but it's really just not. Being intimate is like how vulnerability is. You're allowing somebody to see you for who you are. And this also takes me back to when I hung out with my friends the other night. Like, when it comes to that intimate, when it comes to that moment, intimacy, it's just like enjoying the laughter that someone brings. It's enjoying the presence of someone, and not really being scared of showing your true self, or having this like kind of pittering nervousness that is constantly surrounding you, or having like this kind of idea in the back of your head, well, they don't like me at all. They don't want to be around me. That's not intimate. That's just fucking fear. And the way that I see it, like, having that clear communication, that openness with someone else who's not even yourself, or who even is you, like, if it's yourself, having that intimate moment with yourself where you're just getting that clarity of understanding, and that, sorry, I keep on thinking something is fucking moving. Oh man. But anyway, I feel like when it comes to that nature, having that openness, what is that, an open heart opened, when it comes to that, that is just raw emotion. And there's no hidden agendas or hidden emotions behind it. You just present yourself as you are. That vulnerability, that intimacy, that's just, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like if I could explain it in the right words, like, I feel like it's just maybe different for everyone how they experience intimacy. I think that's just how it is. Success. Okay, that's a little tough on this topic. Sorry. Because most of the time we tie our success to um, what we do, how well we do it, or if somebody likes it. But I feel like, personally, with my own success, I give myself a high five just for cleaning up. I give myself a high five just for sweeping. Like, to me, that is success, because I already deal with dysfunction as it is, especially when it comes to dysregulation. Like, that's one of the things that just happens, um, especially when spikes of motivation kind of go in and out. It's like, I enjoy giving myself points for doing what I can. Even if I can't get to it today, I'm just like, you know what? That's okay. We'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we don't do it tomorrow, but we do it the next day after that. So it's like success. It's good. It's awesome. Like you have to give yourself room to do those little things, and to you have to give yourself leeway to enjoy those parts. Clarity. Clarity is so weird because sometimes you might not even understand why, or I guess the what the clarity is for. Um, and I feel like when it comes to clarity, I kind of had, I've had, I drifted off. Um, I've had to kind of sit myself down in this energy of understanding where everyone is coming from when it comes to how we like perceive everything, because when it comes to our own traumas, like everybody has a different perception of what was going on. Maybe it's not always, oh, that was bad. Maybe it was like, maybe we deserved it, or you know, it kind of had, yeah, I kind of had to put myself in that position where I had to constantly tell myself that it wasn't my fault, that I was hurt in those ways. um, and still there's that part of me that's like, oh, but if we didn't look a certain way, or if we didn't dress a certain way, it has nothing to do with how you looked, how you dressed, how you talked. It has everything to do with the perpetrator, and that's their own understanding. You can't understand why they did those things. Maybe they just did it to hurt. Maybe they were hurt before and they just transferred the pain onto you. But you can't allow those things to dictate how you move about. And that's something I have to remind myself, especially when it comes to wanting to have safety. You have to make sure who you're around, you can feel that safety with. So next, healing. I will. I feel like that's. I feel like healing. Healing happens differently for everyone. Um, Personally, for me, healing looked like spending lots of nights to myself, not wanting to talk, not wanting to come out. It was like there's only so much healing I can do alone. Um, and healing also was like going into jobs that use the right name and use the right pronouns, who didn't feel weird when I would have like tick fits, or I just do like different vocal ticks. It felt like it felt like sitting alone outside and just staring at the moon, or dancing under the moon. It felt like singing in the air. It felt like just being at peace. And my eyes drifting off to the side because it's like, yeah, that's just how I felt about that. So forgiveness, ooh, that's a tough topic. That is a rough subject. It's not that I don't have this forgiveness. It's just some people that I'm just like I said, it's a we going on. It's some people that just was like, I can't forgive you at all. And like, I feel like forgiveness is when I feel like forgiveness is when it's like you spill like a cup of coffee on me, and it's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's just coffee. It's just a stain. Like, I'll fix it. I don't care. It's like breaking a charger. Like, okay, it's fine. I don't care. I can get a new one. Maybe not at that moment, but I'll get a new one, you know? And maybe I'll be a little bit upset, but it's like, it's not anything that I can really do about it. It broke, you know? And also, with that forgiveness, I feel like having to forgive myself for what I have done. And even though I might not forgive them, please forgive yourself. You don't need my say to forgive yourself. I honestly, the way I feel about it, it's just a me thing. I'll find some way to get over it, but like, by all means, go ahead, forgive yourself. I don't care. That's between you and your own self. But to me, it's like how I am, what I do. That's just my own personal being. And last is strength. What do I see as strength? I've always attached those things to how hard you work or how much you can endure something. And this also goes to my people pleasing tendencies. Um, but I feel like real strength is when you're battling an addiction, and instead of letting that addiction control you, you tell yourself that this is the last time and I'm getting out of this. Strength is, despite not being heard, not being seen for who you are, you still pursued it anyway. Strength feels like no matter what, you always continue to move forward. No matter how many setbacks, how many times you fall on your ass, no matter what somebody says or is done to you, you still stand up. And maybe sometimes we'll be still on the ground, but fuck all if I call that being unworthy of strength, unworthy of being seen as strength, because we all have our moments where we are down and we stay down for some time. That's just a part of life. Um, but I think that's really all with heart open. I'm actually kind of getting tired, but I'm still going to do that reading. And I think I might be missing cards from my last unicorn deck. So, I'm still going to use it, but I feel like I am missing a little bit of. I'm still missing like one card. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So, I'm going to use the unicorn and spirit song. I love the last unicorn. I actually want to watch again. It was a little crazy how I found that movie though. And it's like the unicorn, she was the last one who was literally there. And towards the end of the movie, she freed herself from what the the magician had put on her. It was to save her, yeah, but it was still a curse because she wasn't her true self. She was so gorgeous, like wow, gorgeous. And it's so amazing. I feel like that film is just unicorns have always spoken to me. I fucking love unicorns. I love dragons too. Unicorns and dragons, they're always seen as like um, enemies against each other. I don't really know the whole story behind that, but in my own opinion, I feel like unicorns and dragons have always worked in unison with each other, with dragons being the protectors and unicorns, I don't know, I guess they were just like kind of frolicking around and like, maybe like the nursers or something, maybe kind of keeping the herd together, even if like the dragon baby is kind of just running around and just like, I'm keeping you over here because that's what your mama said type of energy. I don't know. But it's like, I always just saw them as working tandem together because they were two sides of the same coin. Like you have dragons who I say represent the masculine energy, and then unicorns are like the feminine energy. But they each have their own, like, I should say, properties. Because unicorns are magical. Like, you dragons are magical too, but they're more so on the defender side. Unicorns, they possess like this kind of higher realm energy or some shit, something like that. I just can't like completely define it, or maybe they're just undefinable because like what we consider unicorns with the horse and the horn, um, I'm pretty sure that they were actually just detailing a rhino. I don't know. So let's get some. Okay, you have paradox, effervescent, joy, and happiness. Six, nine of cups or hearts. Let's say you have blue barrel, creativity, energy, and calmness. Two of pentacles or two of diamonds. I could have sworn something literally flipped out of here on its side, or on the side, back side, or whatnot. Adventuring, good luck, manifestation, and optimism. Seven of wands or cloves. Let me get one more. Bloodstone, courage, vitality, energizing, and the 10 of pentacles or diamonds. You have one of, no, you don't have one of each. You have two of the same set, but two other ones who are different. But the kind of major colors here are blue and green. On the back, you have garnet. Oh, now you have all of them. Garnet, the Queen of Swords, passion, energy, and health. And it's so funny because earlier I was kind of humming the song "Stronger Than You." Oh, fucking love City Universe. It's actually pretty good. People are always hating on that show, but it's like the characters are not supposed to be perfect. They're supposed to be fucked up. They're supposed to be experiencing trauma. Like no character comes without flaws unless they're a Mary or Gary Sue. Low tolerance, turbulence, family colors, malfunction, malnutrition, also a blank card. So I definitely feel like there's something new coming in. Fresh start, maybe. Debt, money. Oof. Connection, spiritual. Resurrection, living. Kind of like the back from the dead type of thing. Like, I don't know. You're not supposed to be in there. But I also take that as another sign for something new coming in. Oh, fuck. Okay. So you have soiled, misadventure. Night, mesmerizing. Family ties, music. Bargaining, anger. Sensitive, desensitize. Faith, and password. Let it go, and clarity. Unscathed. get to your dream. Okay, so I don't really think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that you are getting into a new field or that you are feeling drawn to something specific. Um, because I'm just getting like, I'm getting like, when it comes to debt specifically, I don't, maybe it could relate to having like a financial debt or spiritual debt, but I'm getting like you're collecting. It's like everything that was owed to you, you're collecting it. uh, I feel like you needed to sensitize your soul to certain ends. And night is, I feel like night is probably the time where most of everything is going on, or where most people are manifesting or doing a lot more. Um, ah, I feel like you're going to get clarity over something that you were hoping for an answer for, or maybe you didn't even ask, but it's coming anyway, or you're getting signs that something is coming your way. I'm sorry, I kind of just spaced out. I zoned the fuck out. Um, I really feel like it's something that's coming in for you, and you're not gonna expect it at all. And maybe there is a little bit of overthinking. I don't think, especially saying bargain, I feel like maybe you're trying to kind of, it's like trying to make a deal, but you want to have your cake and eat it too. Not saying that you can't have your cake and eat it too, but you can't have the whole cake. You have to share some of it. Like, you have to, you know, keep some of it for later, because otherwise you're just going to end up with a stomach ache, if that makes sense. I think it does. I think it does. Oh gosh. So you have the Three of Swords. Oh shit. And the Ace of Wands. That's kind of crazy how, like, look, I thought it was just one card, right? But then I move it and I see her. Um, so I think you definitely were healing from a broken heart, especially seeing how we had got heart opened. It's kind of odd to see that. And maybe you were taking your time in moving forward from what hurt. And the day actually looks a lot more brighter aftermath. It's like in this energy, when you left, everything was so fucking clouded, but you literally are finding your way out of this. And it's everything since that heartbreak, everything has really gotten better. Regardless if you do see it or not, it has gotten better. Like, there has been a change. So we have the Magician and the Eight of Wands. So I feel like a manifestation is coming in slow, but it's still making its way to you. And even more, I think that I keep hearing my fucking song on repeat. Jesus. It's like I'm trying to. You know what? I'm not even. But I'm seeing that you are taking the steps forward, especially when it comes to being in this kind of feeling of lack. Especially feeling like you're in this feeling justice. Justice here. Okay. Like I said, you were feeling like you were lacking, but here comes justice and finna tell you that it's okay. Your debts, they're coming. You about to be collecting. You about to be getting. You about to be receiving. And you are very much deserving of it. You have the Empress. Oh, okay. So somebody is really just sitting here, kind of minding their own business. They're working on themselves. They're cooking. Like they trying to show themselves that they got it going, and ain't no stopping them. You know what I mean? And you have the Knight of Wands. You're becoming so confident in yourself because you see how we started with the Ace of Wands. You're going on with the Knight of Wands. It's like it's okay. I done picked myself up. I dusted myself off. So now I'm gonna keep it going, cause I see where I see where the path. I may not know the entire path, but I'm seeing what's going on around to where I know what conscious decisions I have to make to move forward. And you have death. So that's pretty dark. Um, so there may have been a death, like a physical one. Um, but also, I'm seeing that it's a releasing of what held you back. Like I said earlier with the writing, you're no longer allowing these false interpretations of what either you've said to yourself or what other people have said about you. You're not letting yourself stay in that energy to where you're just like letting me be less and to be less. You're not dimming your light, you're shining, and you are much deserving of that shine. Ooh, that's the devil. I was getting told to open this last. Um, like in terms of I was gonna get some more cards and I was gonna do it last, but I think that you know what, it's fine because it takes what I just said. Dimming your light, you're not letting it take control of you anymore. You're not letting yourself be stooped down to this level of just not feeling like you're good enough, of feeling like you are deserving of what you want and more. You have to think bigger than yourself. When it comes to your dreams and your goals, you have to think big. Maybe you like the small right now, but it's like you're going somewhere. Oh, that's so crazy. You have the Three of Coins, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So it's like you're going in the right direction. Like you're going just fine. And we have Judgment in reverse. So it's like the judgment has been made. And it's funny how it's this scene and oh my gosh, where was it? I was just talking about her being transformed. Literally, I was just talking about her being transformed into a human earlier on. And it's just weird. It's crazy how this shit is coming out. And you have the High Priestess on the back of that. Like, you see, she's looking up at the moon and she's also looking at the tower. And I believe that is the Red Bull, but I'm not so entirely sure. But she's looking, or it may just be the horses, the unicorns that are like at the water right now. But she's looking and she's like, oh my gosh, there's so much that I am missing out. And even then, when she was when she was human, she started losing what it felt like to be a unicorn. And she was about to settle. Like she was forgetting herself. But I see you walking away and you're going, Full Speed Ahead. You know that song? I forgot who it was by, but it was Odysseus. Somebody had made, um, if you know Monster, and you know that song, I fuck. So I'm just gonna full speed ahead, full speed ahead, Captain. And they switch to Odysseus going into that onto that island, uh, and that song Monster. What if I'm the monster? Dun, 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 dun. Is a cyclops struck with grief, with guilt, as he slaughters our men? Or how he was talking about, I forgot who it was, who he visited. But in that song, he was like, for me to get home, I'd have to do all of this. And if I'm seen as a monster, then fuck it, I just am. Because when it comes to love and war, nobody goes out unscathed. Like peace is, it's not temporal, temporary. You can have peace, but you also have to realize, who am I trying to find that peace in? Is it myself? Am I trying to find it in other people? Am I trying to find it in the situation? How can I bring that peace? You know? You have the Seven of Feathers or the Seven of Swords. Preparation and resourcefulness. So you see how this cheetah is just sitting and it's just observing. I feel like that's just you right now. You're observing everything that's around, and you're allowing yourself to be in this energy of, I don't need to know why, I don't need to know how. I'm gonna figure it out along the way, but I know I need to do something in this present moment that sets me up for that. You have the Ace of Feathers, the Ace of Swords. Mental clarity and foundation. Building your foundation, building yourself up. You have the Nine of Acorns. Is that a panther? Power and perseverance. It's in reverse. You also have Three of Shells. Playfulness, bliss. Queen of Acorns. Passion and creativity. I feel like even though, oh shit, okay, I dropped it and it just went upright. So while these cards are um, in reverse, dear and discipline. I think that you just have to be more. You have, even though you're getting clarity. I think you also need to give that clarity to yourself, especially when it comes to how you're going to be, what you're building up to, who you're becoming, and what you need to do in order to get to where you're going. Um, I'm going to pull some cards from the Hermit deck. I'm also going to do Star Dragons before I do all of that. It's the Oracle deck of the Dragons. Okay. Enlightenment. Moving forward. What did I say? You have to move forward. There's no bargaining or no compromise when it comes to you and your situation and what you need to do. Move forward. Go. Take the reins and just go. Okay. Bliss. Cherishing the day. Number 6. We're at 23. And knowledge. 1. Feel like you need to gain. You better not, Prince. Usually he's in here with me, but I don't want him in here right now. when it comes to that knowledge, I feel like it's building you up. Give yourself a second chance. Rebirth. Okay. Okay. And on the back of the deck, you have tranquility, harmonious incantation, inaction, harmonious inaction. So, like I said, you're going to be observing a lot more, rather than doing as much. You're going to be in that receiving energy where you are given to, and it's been a time coming. Like it's been a long time coming. You have zero. I'm ready. Okay, I'm sorry. You're not ready yet, but you're getting ready. Like the green light is coming. It's coming. It's okay. It's coming. Just be patient. Give yourself a chance. Maybe. Be so nervous about maybe. Oh fuck. It's way too much. It's way too many out. It's telling me to keep these, but that's a lot. Are you sure that's a lot? Let me just like do a little shuffle with them then. We just do a little shuffle. Okay, on the back we have I could be your hero, baby. Just so you know, you are your hero. You are your hero. You are your hero. Don't ever forget that. You have no, but no. Light. I left because you told me to. Do you even care? Do you even see me that way? Words do hurt. I want a fresh start with you. I just want you all the time. Oh, Jesus. Gossip only hurts more. My life started when I met you. 1-1. And strength or ego. I don't really know how to feel about that. Maybe some of this has to do with how. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here. I'm sorry. I felt like I was telling them. But, uh, maybe if you guys haven't, like, just watch Deadpool 3. Deadpool and Wolverine, sorry. Y'all know it's a 3. Anyway, let me get one more. Something is crawling on me. What the fuck? It's just me. I'm going insane. Um, think before you act. Absolutely think before you act. I just saw something I'm not gonna share. That's crazy. Um, but definitely think before you act, especially when you end up getting the clarity. I feel like there needs to be a moment to where you're pausing and you are allowing yourself to literally, you're allowing yourself to literally know, you're allowing yourself to have that clarity within yourself, not outside of you, just outside of you. You're having that clarity within yourself, like, this is what I want to do and I'm ready for it. It's just that. Um, I think that's really all. I'm actually feeling a little lazy right now, and I don't want to entirely just like nifty clean it, but just gonna do a little something to straighten it up at least for when I get up in the morning. Um, but anyway, I just my right ear rang, and I just heard something's coming. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this message finds you well. Hey, I'm here. This is like daily, always fucking spazzing out and shit. But anyway, keep it juicy, guys, and peace the fuck out.